The gentleman yields back. The chair now recognizes Ms. Bice for 5 minutes for the purpose of asking questions.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Blanton, for being with us. I am very concerned about the things that I've heard from my colleagues this morning. What is the current telework policy for the AOC?
So we have and it's very interesting because if you would have talked to me 3 years ago, my answer on telework would have been the same answer that you would have gotten from just any other government agency.
Today, I want to know what the telework policy is today.
So until the pandemic ends, we are still...
The pandemic has ended. The president even said so.
It officially ends May 11th, and that's when our policies are going back to where they were prior to the pandemic.
Which is?
That people can telework should their supervisors allow them to telework. However, if you look at my staff, the largest majority of my staff are people who can't telework because they have to be here to do work here. And so there's very, very few people who are actually telework in AOC. However, the flexibility in the policy, I think, should remain because it allows us to attract and retain the top workforces.
You said, replying to Ms. Sewell, that you are not in this building or on this campus on January 6th. I find it mind-blowing that the head of the AOC, the leader, knowing what you knew, probably a lot more than we did that day, would not have been in this building ensuring the safety and security, not only of the building, but of the employees that you lead. Why? Why were you not here that morning?
I will say to address the first part of what you said, is as has been testified to the House and the Senate, there was no actionable intelligence that there was going to be anything here that was presented to the Capitol Police Board.
I was day 3 on the job, and I knew, not having any intelligence information from anyone, that it was going to be a busy day because there were so many people here. You knew that people were going to be on campus regardless of whether or not they were going to breach the Capitol. Why were you, as the leader of this organization, not on this campus on that day?
Well, I can say this is a great example of why Congress appropriated the vehicles, because it acts as a mobile command center.
But you didn't come because you said you couldn't get on the campus, which I find offensive, sir. The fact that you would say that I wasn't going to be able to get in, I cannot fathom that. It doesn't make any sense.
I respectfully disagree with you, and I apologize.
Let's talk about morale. You mentioned earlier in your opening statement that you are here to improve the morale within your agency. What are you doing to improve morale?
Oh, we have some wonderful initiatives. One of the first one is we've developed a human capital strategy, and in partnership with that, AOC University, which allows people to further their careers so that they can go from, let's say somebody is a nighttime recycler and they want to end up being an electrician, that we are going to be able to give them the training to be able to change what their career field is. And I will tell you this, when I first got here, one of the things that AOC was known as is the last plantation. And that pained me when I heard that phrase when I was researching this job. Right now, Forbes has indicated to us that they are going to put us on their list of the top workplaces in America.
What's the turnover rate for your organization?
It depends on where it is. I mean, for example, at the State of the Union, I gave my ticket, my +1 ticket, to somebody who worked here 50 years. And so it really depends, because you have generational people here where my grandfather worked for the agency, my father worked for the agency.
Do you have data, though, on the turnover of your staff?
I will have to get that specifically for you, and I will respond back for a question for the record.
What about turnover for leadership? Do you have any information on the turnover for the leadership staff?
So we've had post-pandemic turnover, just like most agencies have. Many of this is people who are wanting to retire after many years of service. But I tell you, I view this as an opportunity for us as an agency to grow and get the right people in the right jobs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.